What's going on, everybody? Welcome to After Prison Show, and today I want to tell you a prison story about sharing a cell with a guy nicknamed Big D, aka Delicious. And you know, the first thing that I want to say about this is, it doesn't really seem like I've talked about this guy all that much in the past. Hey Joe, is there a reason why you haven't talked about that guy? I mean, what, you got something you got to tell us? No, I don't. I'm going to tell you this prison story about this guy. And you know, I went back looking at older videos to see what and when I actually did talk about this guy Delicious. And boy, it just sounds crazy even saying this guy's name. We're just going to refer to this guy as Big D, which is just as crazy to think about. But I went back looking at these older videos just to try to see how much of this guy's story I'd ever really talked about. And there really wasn't all that much.
So when I introduced myself to him, he told me they called him Delicious. Delicious, what the?
Yeah, that right there was from an older video called 5 of the Craziest Prison Nicknames Ever, where I think I first mentioned this guy, Big D, aka Delicious. But it was just a few days ago where I was telling a prison story about a guy nicknamed Colgate fighting a guy nicknamed Christina Aguilera. Colgate is a guy that I shared a cell with, and after these two guys got into a fight, I would lose Colgate as a cellie. He would be taken to the hole with his arm completely dislocated, trying to be popped back into place by the guards as they were escorting him out of the housing unit to then go serve his time in the hole for fighting. And it was after I lost Colgate as a cellie, I would go a few days, maybe even a week or so, before somebody new would be moved into the housing unit to take Colgate's place. And who that person was Big D. Now, when Big D first got moved into the housing unit, as soon as he came through the door, I automatically knew this guy was going to be going into the cell to share a cell with me. I had the only open bunk in my cell in this cell block. And as soon as this dude came through the door, and it was recognized immediately that this guy was sort of playing for the other team, he was a gay dude. And the first thing I want to say in relation to that is there is nothing wrong with that at all. I might crack some jokes here and there, but I do not knock anybody for the lifestyle they live. But it was pretty apparent, you could tell by this guy's mannerisms, by this guy's walk, the way that he walked, the way that he you could immediately tell that this dude, he was gay. And again, all of the prisoners, you can just hear him. Oh, Joe, look at your new cellie. Joe, that's your new cellie. God, look how big he is. Joe, that dude gonna be in the cell with you. Ooh. There was a lot of laughing and joking going on amongst the prisoners, and most of it was being directed toward me. It wasn't even really about this dude at all. In fact, I don't think anybody really wanted any problems with this dude, because I got to emphasize, this guy, he was huge. He was a big dude. This dude, if he wouldn't be what he was, he would be like a Debo. Straight savage, straight alpha male. This dude, he would be just taking trays. You gonna eat your breakfast? I'm taking that. Thank God he was gay. To be honest with you, thank God. But also, I need to clarify this real quick too. Don't think for a second just because somebody is gay that they ain't gonna be on that savage type of lifestyle. In fact, in California, you got a gang called the Gay Boy Gangsters. And from what I've seen on that TV show Locked Up, them boys go hard. I would not want no problems with none of them dudes. But Big D comes into the cell block, he's going up the stairs, he's got his belongings with him, and again, I know he's going into my cell. Now, mind you, when he comes into the cell block, I'm not in the cell. I'm downstairs carrying on with whoever it is that I'm talking with, watching all of this take place. Like, wow, that right there is my new cellie. That is probably one of the biggest gay dudes I have ever seen in my life. And as I'm seeing this dude go into my cell, which is gonna be his cell as well, you know, I'm a little scared, I'm a little intimidated. I don't know what to expect from this situation. And you kinda gotta be that way no matter who they bring into your cell. Anytime that you get a new cellie, there's always gonna be that apprehension, that cautious period that you're just gonna have to go through. You're gonna definitely have to feel that person out. Wow, that is probably the worst analogy I could have used right there, but you get what I'm saying. You really got to just take it easy, take it cautiously, because you don't know who it is. You don't know what this dude's charges are. You don't know if this is some kind of snake in the grass type of... Believe me when I tell you, I have seen some of the craziest stuff go down between either a cellie that I had in me or with other people in their cellies. Whether it involves snitching, whether it involves them stealing, you really got to be careful. And this is a situation that I had never before dealt with in my life. I had many different cellies up until this point, but never before was I ever getting ready to share a cell with a dude who was gay. And then go ahead and throw onto that, I got all the prisoners in the housing unit joking on me. Joe, look at yourself, boy. I just moved in Beyonce, and your girlfriend just got moved. Hey, Joe, how you get your boy, you better stop that. Hey, don't be playing with me like that. You know I ain't really built like that, but I ain't gonna be playing all that laughing and joking stuff. One of us gonna end up looking like Christina Aguilera with that little gumball dispenser reaction going on. You know what I'm talking, you just watched it. You just seen what happened to Chris. You got it. I don't want the problems. This was definitely a pretty stressful time for me. Now, there's another situation that I want to address with all of this as well. And that is bunking or sharing a cell with a gay dude while locked up. And there's some pretty strong thoughts by the majority of the prison population when it comes to something like this. And that is that in no form or fashion will you ever do that. You will never share no cell with no gay dude. You just can't do it. If you're not gay, you don't share no cell with no gay dude. You don't do that. That's a major no-no. And up until this point, I had been a firm believer in that myself. I'm not sharing no cell with nobody like that. It ain't gonna be me. Well, guess what? On this day, it was me. And I'm gonna tell you, there weren't no way I was going up there to this 300+ pound dude telling him, hey, yo, you gotta get up out this cell. You ain't gonna be living up in here with me. It weren't gonna be me. I definitely wasn't about to take no L from this 300-pound Beyonce. It wasn't gonna happen. So you know what? That day right there, I realized, guess what? There's two types of prisoners in this world. You got the guys that say you ain't never gonna do it. And then you got the guys that just end up in that situation who don't want no problems because either the guy's bigger than them or I don't know. I honestly don't know. But that's what it is. You got the guys who maybe they've been in situations like that and they've handled it. Man, you ain't, no. But me, I honestly felt like it was a lose-lose situation. So, what was I going to do? So with the fact that I wasn't about to do a damn thing in this situation, what ultimately had to come next was the introduction. I had to go up there and talk with this guy, introduce myself, find out who he was, and let him know, hey, me and you, we're going to be sharing this cell and probably for a while as well. I go up into the cell, and if I can remember correctly, I don't even think I do this until it's like time to lock down. And that's crazy to think about because, I would be in and out of my cell all day long. But on this particular day, when I got 300-pound Beyonce up in the cell, I'm just going to wait until they call lockdown because I ain't going up there no other time. They call lockdown, I got to go up into the cell, and I introduce myself. Hey, how you doing? I'm the guy that's going to be sharing the cell with you. My name is Joe. And your name is, you can call me Delicious. They don't call you anything else, Derek, Darnell, any other name? Anything else besides Delicious? There's nothing. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry. Look, you can also call me Big D. Big D it is. Big D. Now, obviously, Big D was no stranger to this type of situation at all. In fact, I can't even imagine how many times he's found himself in a situation, moving into a new cell, and having to go through with this awkward introduction that me and him are having right now. So, immediately he tells me, he's like, look, Joe, I want you to know, I don't even like white boys. Thank God. Woo, wow. Woo, that's a load off of my chest. You don't like, man. Hey, Derek, Darnell, whatever you're, Big D, it is a pleasure to meet you, sir. Pleasure. We're going to have a grand old time in this big old cell that I got. Hey, anybody know when they opening these cells again? I'm trying to get my head through the chuck hole right now. Big D tells me he doesn't really fancy the white boys. Thank God I'm not this guy's cup of tea. Woo, again. And as crazy and as awkward as this first conversation started out and really was, I got to admit this. This guy would actually end up being not that bad of a dude. There were some times I like to work out in the cell during lockdowns. I might have my shirt off. And I gotta be honest with you, this was my routine. And I didn't want that routine disturbed, so I would still do my workouts. I don't know if I would be taking my shirt off. Definitely not at first. But then as time would pass, I was just doing my thing. Had my shirt off, doing my workout, got Big D sitting on the bunk right there talking about, Joe, I told you I don't like white boys, but damn. Big D, hey, Big D, you better stop playing like that, Big D. You told me I ain't your cup of tea, Big D. You 300 pounds, man, just leave me be. God. He was an alright guy. He really was. Now, there was something else really ironic and crazy that I want to talk about with this. And I know I never talked about this before. And like I said at the beginning of this video, when this dude first got moved into the housing unit, everybody's laughing and joking. Oh, Joe, look at your new celly, my God. He think he on American Idol or something. This ain't American Got Talent, boy. Look at the way he walking up them stairs, Joe. Look at the wow. Boy, you looking a little hard, ain't you, man? That's my celly, man. Y'all better stop looking at my celly like that. Y'all have some spec. Y'all better put some spec on that man's name. But with everybody who was laughing and joking on me, there was this one guy in particular. And this one guy, I absolutely could not stand this dude. I despised him. And I have no idea what his name is. I don't remember his nickname. I don't remember nothing about this dude except for the way that he looked. He was this big, stocky black dude, and he had these little twists in his hair. So for the sake of this video, because I can't remember his name or his nickname, we're just gonna refer to this dude as Little Twist. And I'm not honestly sure if that's not somebody's real name. So no disrespect intended with this nickname, but we're gonna call this guy Little Twist. And Little Twist would end up coming into the cell block after I had been in there for a while. I'd been in the cell block for probably months, maybe even a year at this point, and then all of a sudden here comes Little Twist, this stocky little cotton diesel dude with this alpha male type personality, super loud guy, and also would end up being like the bully of the block. I'm pretty sure this dude was involved with the gangs. I can't honestly remember that, but it wouldn't surprise me if he was, because most everybody in the housing unit was a blood. But Little Twist moved up into the cell block and basically just began running stuff. Took the remote, put it on what he wanted to watch, and that was it. You're gonna watch what the man wanna watch, and if you don't wanna watch that, you're gonna have to straighten it with him. And just by this dude's appearance, just like the way my big 300-pound Beyonce cellmate looked, you have got to imagine that looks can definitely be intimidating while locked up. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people who are big for nothing. I've seen the biggest, strongest dudes get knocked out by the smallest dudes. I mean, that's something that really does happen. But this guy, Little Twist, he definitely was on that rah-rah, bout it type of stuff. Or at least that was the image that he was portraying. So Little Twist moved in sometime after I was in there, and then fast forward to when Big D moves into the housing unit. Well, Little Twist was one of these dudes who was like laughing and joking on me the loudest and the most. Hey, look at you, white boy. Look at you, white boy, Joe. Look at your celly right there. Hey, boy, you got Beyonce up in the cell with you. Look at you, Joe. What you gonna do about it? You gonna straighten that? Nah. Yeah, you're right. I got Beyonce in the cell with me. You got it. You got a Little Twist. And of course, I didn't want no problems with this dude. This dude was big, you know? And I'm the only white dude in here. I know ain't nobody gonna help me. Hey, guys, listen. We gonna take down Little Twist today. Y'all, who coming with me? Who coming with me like Jerry Maguire? None of y'all. Wow. Thank you. Weren't gonna be me fighting that battle by myself. I knew that was a losing fight. But yeah, Little Twist, he was definitely joking on me the loudest. And you know, that's something about this dude also. He was definitely the loudest guy in the block. Always had the remote. If you had the remote, you had the control, you had the power. At least you had the power button for the TV. But here's the ironic thing about this entire situation. You know, time would continue to pass. Me and Big D, we're just doing our time. He's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing. And you know, he's making a friend or two, me being one of them because I share the cell with him and I respect him and he respects me. But one of the other friends that he would make in the housing unit that again, just struck me kind of strange, would end up being Little Twist. And you know, the first time that I recognized this situation, it completely caught me off guard, legitimately. I'm walking up the stairs to my cell. Mind you, I got this corner cell where all sorts of nefarious activities could definitely take place. Walking up to the cell, minding my own business. Whoa! What? Little Twist and Big D sitting on the bunk together. Now, mind you, I don't walk in on them doing anything crazy. But that in itself is crazy enough. You know, if you're in jail or if you're in prison, you're kicking it with your homeboys and y'all in the cell together. One of y'all might be sitting on the bunk. The other one of y'all might be sitting at the table or maybe on a chair or maybe on the sink or the toilet. But ain't no two of you gonna be sitting there on the bunk together right next to each other. Y'all just ain't gonna be doing that. So when I walked up and I seen, oh my God, Little Twist though. Wow, this is all starting to kind of makes some sense. Little Twist, you might have been getting loud and rah-rah with me because maybe you're just intimidated. Maybe you're just worried about coming out of the closet yourself. Maybe you got some deep-seated issues that you need to address, and maybe you're up here in my cell addressing them with my cellmate, Big D, aka 300-pound Beyonce. Big D and Little Twist would most certainly become pretty close friends. And again, though I never saw them doing anything, I can guarantee it. I'm almost willing to bet money on it. I would almost be willing to wager money that what they were doing when weren't nobody around or weren't nobody looking was a completely different subject. Maybe they heard me coming up the stairs, or maybe they had just gotten done or were just getting ready to get whatever the case may be. From that moment on, you know, and you would imagine if this dude, Little Twist, see me coming through the cell, the only white dude, wow, Little Twist on the bunk, look, which I didn't do because, again, I knew better. I wasn't about to put that out there. Should I have just announced it to the entire cell block? Attention! Every other gang member in the housing unit. Little Twist and Big D, aka Delicious, are sitting on the bed next to each other. Yes, you know what that means. Wasn't gonna be me doing that. So when I got to the entrance to the cell, you know, had I just been like, oh, wow, go, and turned around, that could have been trouble for me too. So what I did was I just walked in Hey, what's going on? I grabbed my cup, acted like I was doing something, and just got the hell out of there. Y'all got it. I ain't gonna disturb you, and I ain't gonna put it out there neither. Whatever it is that you guys got going on. And you know, from that moment right there, from that incident that took place right there, where I walked in on these two dudes sitting pretty close to each other on Big D's bunk. Big D had the bottom bunk, I had the top bunk. But they were sitting right there on that bunk together. You know, from that moment, this would actually start to be somewhat of a regular thing, and it was almost like Lil Twist didn't even care. Actually, he didn't care. Because they would either be in our cell together, or they would be in his cell together, or they would just be together. Which again, ain't no big deal. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what you want to do, and that's your prerogative. But it's just ironic, this was the alpha male, the bully of the block. And who knows? Maybe he was getting beat down from the seat. Now, I have no idea. One of them probably was, but wow. Crazy damn situation right there. Crazy. And you know, you would imagine that Little Twist, maybe he would become a better person. Maybe like, you know, he didn't. He was still the same old dude that he was. Just with something going on that now everybody was starting to recognize. Hey, yo, you see Little Twist? He been spending a lot of time with your celly, Joe. I don't know what to tell you. All I can tell you is I know that 2 + 2 = 4. You get what I'm saying right there? You get what I'm saying? And you know, also crazy to mention is Big D, he ain't never tell me no lie, did he? When he first came into the cell and we had that first awkward introduction, he told me he ain't like the white boys. Thank God. You obviously like them little twists though, don't you? You be liking them little twists, don't you, Big D? You know, me and him I would never bring this up with him. When the gates shut and, you know, it was either lockdown for the night or lockdown in between shifts or whatever it would be, I would never even bring this up. We would talk, don't get me wrong. I would kick the bobo with this dude. And we would just talk about all sorts of random stuff. You know, it was almost crazy. This was legitimately the first time that I was ever dealing with a gay dude while locked up. And for obvious reasons, because this dude was my cellie. But we would actually become relatively okay. Like a friend. I mean, this dude was legitimately like a friend to me. And, you know, I had no issue with him. Now, I can't remember for how long me and Big D shared a cell together. And I have absolutely no idea what this dude was locked up for. I don't remember. The only thing that I do remember in relation to this is this dude was a federal inmate. And at this jail, they housed federal prisoners, which means either these dudes were getting locked up with federal charges or they were coming back from federal prison to probably go back to court to testify against somebody. I saw this happening quite a bit. And I can't remember if Big D was already in prison and he was brought back to the jail. I can't remember if he got locked up from the street with these federal charges. I just remember he was a federal prisoner. So whatever he did, it was something on the federal level. But I do remember the day that they came and they packed up Big D. They came to the cell and they were like, 300-pound Beyonce. Hey, Beyonce, pack your stuff. You're getting up out of here. You're going B&B. Beyonce and Big D. And that didn't mean that he was getting released. He was either going to another jail or he was going to prison. I just remember there was a day that came where they packed him up and he was leaving. And, you know, he's packing his stuff up and he's like, you know, Joe, it was cool kicking it with you for the time that we kicked it. You know, you were a good dude. And I was feeling the exact same way about this dude. You know, I'd be lying if I sat here and tried to tell you any differently. Big D, as crazy as this entire situation was, a dude nicknamed Delicious, was actually a really genuine good cellie that I had. You'll have a lot of different cellmates if you serve time, especially if you serve a lot of time. And I had a ton of them. Good ones, horrible ones, and really nothing in between. And Big D, aka Delicious, was actually one of the good ones. And you know, I was kind of sad when he left. I was sad because it was like a friend of yours is leaving and you'll probably never see this person again. And that's a really crazy thing to think about with any kind of a cellmate situation. Somebody that you become close to, somebody that you consider a friend. And I know the comment section is probably going ham right now. I know the keyboards are smoking right now as I'm saying these things, but I'm being genuine with you. The dude was a good dude. Intimidating at first, uncomfortable and awkward as any situation you could probably find. Well, nope. There's probably a lot more awkward. Little Twist probably can vouch for that one. But he was a genuinely good dude. And when they packed him up and he left, I was a little sad about the situation. Feeling like I was losing a friend that I know I'll never see again. And two, you know, you don't know who they're going to replace in that cell. I started with Colgate, young kid with horrible breath. Ended up with Big D, a.k.a. Delicious, who You know, I would have never even guessed that that situation would work out and we would just be able to toe the line respectfully. And then who they would end up moving into my cell after that was somebody that I was definitely not a good cellie. So, you know, I want this story to kind of stand for something. I know I've cracked some jokes many times in the past, and I know I've cracked some jokes in this video as well. But I want this story to stand for something. And what that is, you know, all of these unwritten rules, you can't share no cell with no gay dude. All of these mindsets of judging a book by the cover, judging a person by their appearance or by their lifestyle, I learned from that situation right there. I personally did. And I know there's people out here who are just not even trying to hear anything I'm saying, but you know, I hope somebody does take something from this. You can't judge people for their lifestyle. You can't judge people for their appearance. You just can't do that. Because if you take the time to get to know a person, and I'll be the first to admit, had it not been a situation where I was forced to share a cell with this dude, I probably wouldn't have taken that time. But I was forced to share a cell with this guy. I was forced to either get to know this dude or just carry on with that unwritten rule prisoner BS. And I did get to know this dude. And I would end up considering this dude a good cellmate. And also somebody who was a friend. So I hope you take something from this. I hope I was able to get that point across. Hey, look, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you thought about it. As always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world. Never take a moment for granted and make the most of every day. Peace!